I've talked about the concept of financial offense and financial defense on this channel before. Defense is saving, reserving, reducing, stopping people from taking your money, right? Offense is leveraging, investing, and going out there to get it. This video is about defense. What's good, YouTube? I go by the name of Q. If you're unfamiliar, if you are familiar, shout out to you. Welcome back to the channel. Offense and defense. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because in a sense, the tips I'm going to give you on financial defense, it's almost a hybrid of defense and offense because when you apply it, you're actually taking action and being offensive, though it's being defensive to your overall financial situation. These tips are tried and true. I've tried them all. They work. And they will help you put money back in your pocket, pay yourself first, and potentially remove yourself from the paycheck to paycheck scenario. Tip number 1, call every single one of your service providers. Every last one of them. Call them up. Call them up right now and negotiate some lower rates. I've done this before. It works. It works best with the service providers that you've had the longest. So we'll use a cell phone for instance. I've been with Sprint for 13 years. Ever since this whole pandemic, I've been a little tight on money. So what I did is call them up and I negotiated a lower rate. And my overall monthly bill, you'd be surprised, it was a 5-minute phone call. My overall monthly bill, they reduced it. They reduced it by $25. 5-minute phone call. The same goes with your insurance providers. The same goes with your cable providers. The same goes with anything else you may have. You'd be surprised what a simple request will do. These companies have a lot of money as is. They're getting bailed out as is. They won't miss it and they'll make up on that loss by robbing somebody else in the future. While you got them on the phone, do yourself another favor, right? If you're on a, let's say, weekly or bi-weekly pay schedule, what helped me pay myself first was any service provider that I had. I asked them if they can move my payment date towards the latter end of the month. So I get 2 checks per month. My very first check, I get maybe 2 payments that come out, but most of my payments come out at the end. So that way I know how much discretionary income I have on my first paycheck. And I use that money however I want to use it. And I just leave the rest of that money in the account. And I have it set on auto pay so it just comes out without me having to think about it. Move your payment dates toward the end of the month. You'll save yourself a lot of money that way. Tip number 2, always be mindful of your variable expenses, right? Any variable expense you have. This typically falls in the line of automotive. So think about oil changes or think about registration for your car. Like how often do you get oil changes? How often do you register your car? Here in Chicago, we have to do plate stickers and we have to do city stickers every 6 months to a year or however long you map it out. But people typically forget about that. Keep that in mind so that way you're not pulling from other line items in your budget and you're not forced to use a credit card when you don't have to. What I typically like to do is set a reminder. I put it on my calendar so whenever these things come up, I know in advance and I get that reminder in advance, and that way I'm able to either save for it incrementally until that date comes, or I just take from my discretionary income, take some of that and budget it into a particular line item, a specific line item for that particular thing. Don't forget that variable expenses are important. They catch a lot of people off guard. You don't want to be one of those people. Tip number 3, I talk about resourcefulness all the time on this channel. And if you work for an employer that's pretty much a bigger corporation, 9 times out of 10, they have resources, right? They have partnerships. We'll use my situation for example. I used to work for a big corporation and they had thousands of partnerships with other companies. So any company they was partnered with, you get an employee discount at that company. So all you would have to do is go to that company and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I work for X, Y, and Z. What type of discount do you have for me? I've gotten multiple discounts on multiple things that way. It works. And again, take advantage of the resources you have at your disposal. Never squander them. They'll put a lot of money back in your pocket. Another example I'll use, and not to put too much of Kara's info out there, but she works at a clinic, right? She works at a clinic somewhere, and that particular clinic has a daycare in it. So by her working at the clinic and there being a daycare, of course we get a discount, a huge, huge, deep discount on childcare. So whenever she takes the baby to work, we pay a fraction of what most childcare daycare providers cost, and that's a huge blessing. Like, that's really what's saving us, because if we had to pay that full childcare ticket, one of us probably would have to stay at home. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Childcare is super expensive right now, and if you got kids, you know what I'm talking about. Childcare is thousands of dollars per month. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. We're taking full advantage of that opportunity right there. So resourcefulness, resourcefulness, resourcefulness. I'm always gonna preach that. Tip number 4, and my final tip. It might seem light, it might sound light, but it's heavy though. This is for my daily drivers. If you drive every single day or 5 days a week, if you drive a lot of miles, and you know how those gas prices are. There's an app. There's an app that I use personally called Gas Buddy, and it's pretty much like a GPS, so it will locate the cheapest gas near you. Wherever you are, there's a GPS tracker on this particular app, and they will show you on the map where all the gas stations are that has the lowest prices. So that way, if you're low on gas, you can stop there. And I can't even tell you how much money it put back in my pocket, but it has done me a lot of justice. I kid you not. Gas Buddy is the name of the app. It's in the App Store. For me, it's free since I'm an Android user, but I don't know if you use it or not, but if you don't use it, you should. This is not an ad. I wish it was, but Gas Buddy, go check that out. I'm always looking for ways to save money as well as going out there and get it. Like I said, I preach financial offense and defense because you have to do a mix of both. If you're trying to be ahead, you have to be conscious about everything. You have to really pay attention and be meticulous, because the little minor cutbacks and the minor pushes ahead, it might seem minor. It might seem minor. And in the grand scheme of things, right then and there, it is minor. But the compounding effect is real. So little by little by little, you save. Little by little by little, you make. All big things, right? All big things start small. So just build up that consistency. Build up that consciousness. Build up that intentionality, most importantly. Build up that good habit. And these are all things that help me. If you've been following me for some time, then you know the level up has been crazy, and I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Though I'm grateful where I am, I'm nowhere near what I want to be. But everything I just talked about in this video are things that I practice. I'm never preaching anything that I don't practice. So if you utilize any of these tips, let me know in the comments. I really hope they help you. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Also, follow me on IG. Q Makes It Happen on IG. Go follow your boy. Show your boy some love. I go by the name of Q. And like I always say, if Q can make it happen, you can make it happen. I'll let y'all next video. Peace.